and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Happy Thursday, magnificent Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, Eastrix holiday. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, we're Old School. Brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Grease, a Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andremet, 168th and Maple up there in the O, in the dead heat of spring ball, in the dead heat of the first day of the Masters. A lot of going on right there, a lot of movement going on there. Justin Rose is found his form at least for a day. Scotty Scheffler is doing his thing. Fresh out of being jailed last year in a tournament, hurt his wrist doing who knows what, but didn't lose his form. So plenty of other players are trying to either stay steady or make a move or create a little bit of separation on the field. But somebody that's trying to separate themselves in college football news is the young stunner from the University of Tennessee, Nico Yamaleva said, I want to get Yama paid again. Nico Yamaleva is really the first or one of the first quarterbacks to get a huge NIL deal, like legit, not the one that Florida forgot that they agreed to, by the time the quarterback got there. And, taking Tennessee or being on the team of Tennessee goes to college football playoffs, even though they got shellacked against Ohio State. The reports are that, essentially he's in a contract holdout, which would be the equivalent of a quarterback not showing up to minicamp, which would be the equivalent of spring ball. I think this is something that you're going to see more often. Now, it also lets me know that the talks haven't been going well because you got bounced in January.
It is now mid-April.
It is pretty much May, right? And you in spring ball, and you still haven't figured it out. This is the business should have been done a long time ago. I also wonder if he purposely waited or his agent decided to purposely wait because the transfer portal is about to open up, and that could potentially drive the price. So Tennessee's going to have to rustle up some of them volunteer alumni and, get some money, to put in his pocket to keep him around, because it's a little bit like when Philip Fulmer was there. I have a couple really good friends I play with in the NFL, and, a former friend that's a Tennessee volunteer. He loves Tennessee.
Poor guy.
And it's funny because I remember when people were saying, "Oh, Frank Solich, you only won 9 games. You need to, change your whole offense, the West Coast offense, all that." And then we got rid of Frank, and then obviously Bo did well and all that. Well, remember when Philip Fulmer went to the SEC championship? Next year, I think they were 1 game away. The third year, they really struggled late in his career. And I said, be careful what you wish for. This is the same thing right here with Tennessee. Now their expectations, which is tied to emotion, not the standard, is college football playoff every year.
Mm-hmm.
That lets you know it's emotional. It's not even rational, because it's in the SEC where Tennessee is, where it's not, when you're not Bama, Georgia, Texas now, or, heck, they're right on line probably with Ole Miss, right? And and so you're not a foregone conclusion, and you don't have the history to be, thought of in the highlight high enough in the preseason. You lose your quarterback, you're going to be like Pruitt. They're going to run you up out of there.
Okay, I'm glad you went there, because I would love to know what percentage of Tennessee fans, or really any college football program, if you transpose a similar situation on them, would feel which way. Because I think there's a large chunk of the fan base that would feel exactly that way, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, we made the college football playoff, went on the road. It was always going to be a tough task, but we finally broke through. We're there. We're trending up. We're trending in the right direction. Things seem like they're in a good spot. You couldn't keep the quarterback. That's on you. You knew you had to win. I also think there's a large chunk of fans, Jay, who would look at that and say, okay, if he didn't want to be here,
so be it.
Be it, right? Let him go. Because I think NFL teams, and as we move toward a more NFL, model in a lot of ways in college football, how many NFL teams have gotten themselves in trouble paying great quarterback money for a decent to good quarterback? And there's not a salary cap, right? Essentially, but not entirely. You can supplement with the NIL, supposedly, according to the House settlement that may or may not be coming down here in the next handful of days or so. But it'd be risky to let Nico Yamaleva walk. But would fans understand, like, he pulled a kind of a weak move? Maybe don't hate the player, hate the game, right, with the leverage of the transfer portal. But if he wants to walk, you're like, no, we have other holes in our roster to fill. We had this budgeted. He was okay with it. Then all of a sudden had a change of heart. For every fan that would be upset that Tennessee, quote unquote, let Nico Yamaleva walk away, I'm sure there'd be a fan that understands, yeah, maybe he was getting out over his skis, getting a little too big for his britches, and it sucks right now, but this is why you go recruit a quarterback every year. Your transfer portal is about to open up, so you can do there. Will it be the same? Probably not, but also maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you have probably a threshold that you're willing to go to, and it also depends on how the negotiation goes. Do you cross that attack personally line, and is he in the portal for the right reasons, because he may be legitimately underpaid based on what he was paid previously? And that's when you have to, understand, okay, you know what, he's earned it. If he continues to progress, then we're going to play him for potential, success as well. So it's interesting. He's a California kid, I think. So, the appeal of maybe potentially going into USC and moving will always be there. So you're fighting against the unknown, because you just never know what these, young men and women are thinking about when they go in the portal. There's different reasons, and all the factors are never known. it's just really easy to go in the portal, whether you really want to be in the portal or you kind of get forced in there. And so we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously he's not in the portal, but it does seep into your mind. I mean, also for teammates as well. It's not just if he leaves, not everybody else, but other guys could potentially leave. And so, I think if I'm a coach or administrator, as long as I'm taking care of the players as best as possible, and they still decide to leave, then you can't really be emotionally attached to it. And you only can worry about who you can coach, who's here. And that's a straight NFL mentality. I mean, you see it just like, with Malone and Booth with the Denver Nuggets. And Bill Parcells, where he was saying that he wasn't allowed to shop for the groceries when he was the Patriots coach. And so it does happen, but you only can worry about who wants to be there. And Tennessee's a really good spot for him. I can't envision another place where he would maybe make as much, be featured as much, but then also fit as well, because you already know what he can do at Tennessee. And you also know that he can get significantly better as well. So
same for Heupel.
Right.
Exact same for Heupel. I mean, he's really grown into his own as a coach. I mean, a little bit at UCF, but now at Tennessee, he's proven he can, win double-digit games as an SEC team in the SEC conference. You can see both those guys being successful somewhere else, but it also makes you wonder, why would Tennessee or they be looking somewhere else?
Well, you always think about, like, how much harder would it be to get to the same success that you're at right now?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to leave this place and go and start over. So you're going to think you're going to a place that just needs a little bit of a boost. You're not going to go from Tennessee to Youngstown State unless things go haywire. But if you have some sort of success at Tennessee and continue to be, successful, you're not going to, you're going to maybe move laterally. And that's based on family factors, maybe getting back home, or, in his case, Oklahoma, right? So Tennessee, Oklahoma, probably about the same. Maybe I was Tennessee, maybe a little bit higher. But Oklahoma has that factor of alumnus that makes it even Steven. Or you're going to really, really level up. And I don't think he's really even at that point yet. And there's not any really huge level up jobs that are that much bigger than Tennessee out there. And and that's just in general. So
Tennessee's not tier 1A job, 1B, tier 2?
For sure. Yeah.
Not lower than that.
No, it's a great job. I mean, you got a great recruiting base. You got a great fan base, alumnus. You're in one of the best conference. I think the Big Ten is the best. SEC. You can go back and forth, and so it's a big upgrade from UCF. You made a huge leap. My man down in Missouri stood on business, and you were able to bounce back. You got a little bit of get back. So I think it's with Nico, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. Now, also when you look at it on this On3 thing, they came out with the top 10 quarterbacks in the nation. Top 10, which is crazy. Number 1, and this is by Ari Wasserman. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Wasserman. Number 1, DJ Lagway, which is crazy. This must be all potential. Number 2, Lenore Sellers. More of a runner.
Yeah.
Right. Throw when I have to. Arch Manning. You haven't done anything.
We'll see.
Number 3, though.
Yeah.
John Mateer, who transferred in from Washington State. Okay, I can see that.
Maybe.
Okay. Number 5, who actually, I think, out of all these guys up until now, should be number 1, Cade Klubnik. A bounce back year, and then he exceeded expectations. Obviously got them in the college football playoffs. This dude right here is a dude. He was thinking about calling to Nebraska. But we got our quarterback, Sam Leavitt.
Yeah.
Who
one good year.
Yeah. He played well against Nebraska and Michigan State, went in the portal with the whole Mel Tucker thing. Found a home, beat out Jeff Sims. Now look at him, top 6 and did well. Garrett Nussmeier, I think he's going to have a huge year next year.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. Receiving core is there. Going to lose. Offensive linemen are going to be gone, but I think he's going to do well. This dude right here, we saw him against Florida State over there in Ireland. Haynes King. I don't know about 8. No, number 9, Drew Aller.
Still disrespectful.
No, and then number 10 is Nico. I got some other guys. I mean,
no Carson Beck.
No Carson Beck. Not the guy from USC. Played at the end. Played against Nebraska.
Yeah.
No Dylan Raiola. Because I think Dylan's just you could put him in there with some of those guys. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't? What's the difference? Here's what I was. Well, first of all, the guys that ain't play, it's not really in discussion.
Right.
DJ Lagway and Dylan, no, right? It's not right. Haynes King,
Not inspired. I take Drew Aller over Haynes King in a heartbeat.
right? So I mean, there's some other worthy quarterbacks out there, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Looking at just these 10, I would believe that Lagway has the highest ceiling.
Yeah, but
you can talk me into that, right? I know. I agree.
We've seen that with Richardson.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm saying you can play his way into it. I'm not saying he's there yet.
Right.
Who is Georgia's backup? I think he has more of a case than Lagway.
Yeah.
Maybe. Gunnar Stockton.
Yep.
Maybe. I'm not sold on it. I'm saying at least as good a case. But in some order, I think my top 5 would be Klubnik, Aller, Nussmeier. Mateer was really good. And then I'd have to find another one out there. But think about just the difference in star power and name recognition at the quarterback position in college football in 2025 compared to just 2024.
Yeah, I know.
That's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference. And now you got to earn the respect out there. Now you got to go take it. But I like your 4, and then I would throw one of the guys, I'll call them freshmen that haven't played much in there. And you could just throw Arch Manning in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good, to me, it's a better top 5. But
Sellers is fine.
I like Sellers, and he doesn't get enough credit because he's a
Luke
winner.
Altmaier led a 10-win team.
Right. Yeah, and he's definitely
on the low.
Yeah. I mean, and Sellers is really good. He's a matchup problem.
Mm-hmm.
He can wear you down. He's big and physical, and he can throw well enough to kind of keep you honest. And he's played big in big games. But now teams have tape on him. So let's see how he does this next year. But Altmaier is a sneaky. You know who Altmaier reminds me of? He reminds me of the Louisville quarterback in the draft right now.
Oh, Tyler Shuck?
Yep. Because have another good year. Not really like with the pizzazz as far as like the name and how he plays. But then you start watching more tape. You're like, all right, this dude's actually pretty good. Really good. So.
Devin Dampier from New Mexico to Utah. Sawyer Robertson at Baylor are other names I'm seeing pop up right now.
What about old buddy from Utah, Cam Rising? He's been there for like 50 years.
He gone.
I know. He petitioned for like 85 years.
But it's just crazy just how
Is Will Rogers still at Washington? Or
he was
is
a senior. He was a senior. Let's see. Another top 15.
Oregon's quarterback.
Oh, Duke's quarterback, Darian Mensah.
Yeah. Oregon's quarterback.
Got Dante Moore.
Yeah.
Hadn't played it all.
But neither some of them guys in there.
Mensah's pretty good.
Arch Manning ain't played?
He played more than Dante Moore.
Oh, yeah, he played more, but he ain't like.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
What's the difference? It's just kind of like, all right, you played more.
I like Mensah. Mensah's fun. Let's see. Scrolling through.
What's about the little dude from Arizona?
Kevin Jennings at SMU.
Yeah.
Noah Fafita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a hot topic or a hot prospect in the transfer portal. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there.
Not that Carson Beck was. He wasn't eligible for the draft before last year, was he?
I don't know. He probably redshirted.
Because that man and his stock, whether it's fair to him or not, are not in the same spot they were before last year.
No. And the amount of drops that he had at the receiver position hurt him, but nobody ever went to bat for him for it. So for them, he does have credibility, or it should receive credit.
But is that another knock against him? No one went to bat for him. Is that a knock on him and his leadership, locker room stuff, or is that just they're okay with letting him take
there's
the
a little
arrows?
bit of animosity because he's definitely had a lot of NIL stuff, and Stetson Bennett had won 2 championships, and you're supposed to be better. They paid you a lot of money to stay at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
You got bounced. Understandable, but the amount of drops was bad.
Do you see what Miami did to your boy Carson Beck when he first got down there?
What, stole his cars?
Stole his car, and he was his side piece spoke up, and so he broke up with his girlfriend.
Yeah, it's one of those twins, right?
Yeah.
Miami. He might be back in the portal.
You ruined his life, Jay.
He's in that.
It's not the you.
I saw he's in that big old house contemplating life right now. Did I make the right choice? trying to text Kirby. What's up, bro?
You up?
Yeah, you up? Yeah, he's tough. It's tough, man. I mean, Man, I mean, Michigan State's quarterback is decent. I mean, he's, so there's a lot of guys.
Aiden Childs, yeah.
I mean, they're decent. So you got to think.
Mm-hmm. Even Iowa's guy, Mark Gronowski, is pretty darn good at South Dakota State.
He's really good there.
Yeah.
Now, they did put a highlight where he threw a back shoulder fade, so that everybody's in trouble.
That's a little too spicy for Iowa. They don't call
right?
that. They're not there yet.
Well, they kept playing it from all different angles, so there's like they've never seen that before.
Did you see what the Wisconsin guy said about Iowa?
No.
He said this Wisconsin football player is getting interviewed by local TV or something, and at the end of every practice, Wisconsin is doing 42 push-ups to remind them of the 42 points they gave up to Iowa.
Mm.
And the dude says something to the effect of, yeah, we do these 42 push-ups because it's Iowa. They don't get 40 on anybody. They got 40 on us.
That's true. Legendary game. Yeah, man. It's this transfer portal. It's slowed. When spring football started, you're all football, but now it's opening during spring, and depending on when your spring ends, it's tough. Now, hopefully, this 105 kind of slows guys down, or potential 105 or maybe 120 slows guys down, so they don't get out there and lose something that's guaranteed. But these young kids, I mean, heck, look at my man that was down at Texas Tech. He was there for like a week.
Oh, yeah.
The receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's sometimes, the amount of work that you have to do at a new place and get acclimated, there isn't a price tag for it. And if you're not ready for it, you could lose a lot of money. And there's some guys that made some mistakes. There's some teams that made mistakes. And whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, especially in this transfer portal cycle and cycles, and whatever is coming down the pipe in the future, will be able to survive and actually thrive at times, because it's tough out there, man. I mean, you got guys that, different places throughout the, United States that are making more than guys that have made the Pro Bowl.
Woo!
And they have enough leverage because it's unregulated to go into a coach's office and say, I only will play with him, and him. And these are the only plays I want to run. So it's a, you always want the college kids to get paid. You want them to, live a little bit better than you did. But somebody's got to step in and at least have some sort of plan and some sort of like concrete structures, or else I don't know how college football survives.
It's very popular.
I mean, it's
but
I'm saying in the purity,
heart, soul.
Like, how much money can you keep getting from dudes and you're not getting any return? From from your donors.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they're not the owners, right?
They're not
getting that kickback. They can't sell when they want to.
They're just giving you money and trusting you with it.
Right.
Now,
just for some seats and maybe a name here or there.
Right. And the trust is coming from you playing up to your price tag.
Yeah.
So it's a unique time in college football and every sport. I mean, you got to think of it. I know women's college basketball is a little bit different, but Notre Dame lost their 4 of their 5 starters to the portal for whatever reason. The Flo J. Johnson from LSU, she's not going to the WNBA. She's in the portal, just waiting to decide what she's going to do. Now, granted, the CBA is a big factor, but even when you're at a good basketball school, a really good women's basketball school like Notre Dame, you can lose all your players.
You just lost one to TCU.
Yeah, just like that. To TCU, never thought of. I mean, you had Jada Williams that left Arizona to go to Iowa State. I mean, there's a lot of constant movement, and also with the check.
Right.
With it. Real quick, Austin, before we take a break, what do you think about Mickey Joseph's statement that when guys go from his school, HBCU or mid-major, up, that there should be some sort of transfer fee?
Sounds like he's been listening to Old School with Foreman and Norman.
See,
that's really what it sounds like.
Threw you that softball. You knocked it out of the park, man. I mean, I do think that because I think the amount of money that they put into recruiting and developing a kid, and they probably have way more limited budgets.
Well, it's probably less money, but a higher percentage.
It's a high percentage. So that's why you need some sort of transfer fee. And then, because I think it would only help it would only help college football. And then also, it doesn't give bigger schools to just come down and just purge your roster.
I will agree with that to a point. Where I would maybe slow the brakes a little bit is that if there's an obvious case of tampering and it's provable, absolutely there should be like a fine from one school to the other. But I think I would recommend people go back and listen to the conversation we had with Chris Crutchfield yesterday, because a lot of these coaches understand that this is just the nature of the beast. And as long as it's done above board, a lot of times these coaches do want the best thing for their players. And if these players have professional dreams and aspirations, yeah, if you're good, you can get noticed anywhere, but it's simpler to get noticed if you're a bigger school, more TV exposure and whatnot. So if there's legitimate like poaching, tampering, or turning a program into your feeder program, yeah, come on, let's pay a fine, let's pay something, transfer fee, whatever it is. But sometimes, a kid will go in the portal because he's good, doesn't have an agent, is first time navigating it. He just knows, this is what I do. I'm going to see who wants to reach out to me. That's not on a high major coach. They didn't reach out first sometimes. Now I understand a lot of these cases are tampering, pre-existing relationship, contact and whatnot. But I also don't think it's fair to a big school just to pay a little school for something they had no involvement with.
Sure.
It's just kind of the way of the world. So it's a situation by situation basis. I want to get a blanket over it as much as we can to make it as consistent as possible, to make sure that mid-major football, FCS football is still healthy, because it has a very deserving niche in the game.
Yeah, we
but
don't
I don't
get the
think
college
every
football playoff without it though, because they do it. So I think there should be some blanket fee, because of it'll help keep that alive. And when if there is a lean time in FCS, then you need that. So you need that. That I wouldn't say feeder system, but a little bit lower level excitement. And then also I think and it doesn't have to be a ton of money, but it's just something that can help, replace and then some the amount of money and resources that you, put into the student athletes and stuff like that are going to level up and get a chance to play. And so it's commendable that coaches are okay with it. They understand it's the same way you were able to recruit the kid there. Yeah. You recruited over in other schools and got them to go there. But ultimately, it hurts them longer because you don't have the depth of athlete. But now I will say, on the flip side, the argument is going to be, well, there's so many kids in the portal, you got to go and really work hard in the portal so you can replace those athletes that do choose to move on. So it's without a ruling, it's still going to be Wild Wild West.
Yeah. For the first couple of years of the ruling.
Right. With the ruling, there'll be still a little bit more Wild Wild West until the people that made the ruling can really see how people react and then kind of add to it, and we'll see. So anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens and Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens and Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Now's the perfect time to get even stronger at Planet Fitness. Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month. Mix up your routine or create a customized workout plan with free fitness training. That's right. Certified trainers, unlimited sessions with best-in-class equipment. Plus, there's over 2,700 convenient locations to choose from, with most open 24 hours. Save $28 or more today when you join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends April 11th. See Home Club for details.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. This is Old School on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Sorry, not sorry. Having some conversations with Harrison in the back. You'll hear from him the rest of the night. Of course, you got WTF coming up. You'll have a one-on-one. You will have with DP, of course. You'll have some Chancellor Brewington. All the good stuff that you are used to here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Don't forget, you can download our free app for your phone. Just search for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. It travels worldwide, right? I know we just got done having some issues with our radio signal. That is all back, fixed, crystal clear FM sound. Lincoln's only real sports talk, only sports talk on the FM dial. Sounds good now. But you know what? When there's physical equipment involved, sometimes there are issues. Big thanks to everyone who helped get that transmitter back up and running. But in case that ever happens again, in case there's solar flares or wind outages or you get out of range of our signal, whatever it is, hey, guess what? Our app travels everywhere. It doesn't just travel somewhere. It doesn't just travel here or there. It travels here and there. Download it. Super easy to get to, super easy to use. Just watch one very 30-second ad. And then, hey, guess what? You're off and rolling with all of the 93.7 The Ticket coverage that you know and love. Let's hit our Starter Haven Jewelers text line here. 402-464-5685. Got a text from 8893 on that Starter Haven Jewelers text line. He says, when it comes to tampering, what if it's not the school, but the student or their acting agent who reaches out to another school? Would that be considered tampering? I would assume so. And that's where, again, the use of agents is a little fishy, is a little sketchy, something that still has to be figured out. Because in professional leagues, I don't know exactly how it works, but I can only assume that contact with an agent counts the same as contact with a player, right? It's one thing if, players are dapping each other up in the handshake line after the game or whatever it is, and they're talking to one another. That conversation is different from peer to peer than it is from coach to peer, or than it is from, general manager to agent. Some of those conversations are legal and happen. Others of those conversations would certainly be construed as tampering. Figuring out what that line is, who is allowed to talk to who, and when those conversations are allowed to happen is going to be, I think, an underrated key part of the settlement. Because, of course, now in recruiting in college for high schools and the transfer portal, there is a dead period where coaches are not allowed to be out on the road, are not allowed to contact recruits. And I think that dead period is good for everyone, right? I mean, college sports is essentially a 365-day-a-year enterprise now, regardless of what sport it is. Whether you're talking college football, college basketball, college baseball, certainly volleyball in a sport like in a state like Nebraska, to have a dead period, I think, is important for young student athletes, trying to weigh their future. Certainly that's a decision with a lot of pressure on it, no matter how real or artificial that pressure is. It's there. They feel it. So to have a dead period, to let them be comfortable with, hey, I know coaches are not going to contact me, are not going to reach out to me. I can think about this with my family. I can put it in the back of my mind for a little bit, let the information sit with me where I don't have to be on full alert to check my phone all the time for a call or a text from a coach or an assistant coach, whatever it is. So I think dead periods are healthy. Determining what those are, how long they span, what counts as permissible or impermissible contact has really always been an issue for not just college sports, but professional sports as well. As I read this question, 8893, and I'm certainly open to argument and discussion about this, I hope and I wish that athletes know everything that their agent is doing. I think transparency and making sure players and their agents are on the same page is key, because the agent is supposed to represent the player. And there are certainly some cases where the player's too busy. It doesn't necessarily concern them. And the reason you hire an agent that you trust is because you want your agent to be able to walk into a room for you, to know what it is you're thinking, to know how it is you would act and behave accordingly in those meetings. But the truth of the matter is human nature pops up and gets in the way, right? No matter how much you might trust an agent, whether it's a longtime family friend, a friend of a friend, it's an agent from a firm with a high reputation to uphold, whatever it is, these are still, at the end of the day, humans. Maybe the rest of you aren't, but I'm fallible. I'm flawed. I would make mistakes, right? I would act in rational self-interest, and that's, I think, one of the tricky parts about being an agent is that while you have to get yours because it's a career, it's not really about you. How honest, how open, how genuine are you being with the athlete, the person that you're representing? Are you doing what you're doing truly for the good of the person you're representing? Or are you doing what's pretty good or really good for the person you're representing, but also benefits you in the long run, right? And the best relationships, always are mutually beneficial, are synergistic, are symbiotic, where both parties get something positive out of the relationship. I don't know what percentage of agents and client relationships are that way. I don't know what percentage would be, more give than take or vice versa. And I don't know which ones are just straight predatory. But the hope is that these athletes get with an agent that they know or can get to know, that they trust, and that they have an agent who works for them on their behalf. The worry is that that's not always the case, and that will never be a 100% true statement. So for me, I would like it to be treated that any contact with an agent is just the same as contacting a player or the player themselves. Because if a general manager, if an athletic director, if a booster is going to reach out to an agent, if the agent tells their client that, booster from school X reached out, the player deserves to know. If someone is in contact with their agent about the player's, services and future and potentially getting them to campus, the player deserves to know. I would argue that the agent is probably, liable for telling the athlete that conversation happened. If the agent doesn't tell the player, I think withholding information from your client and in that manner is a bad thing. The client deserves to know what conversations are happening. But I also don't think that those conversations should be happening around, smoky tables in, poorly lit rooms where you need a password to get in, right? Not that all these discussions have to be done in the public eye, right? I'm not saying, meet at the mill and get all your business done. I am saying that because the mill is great. Love our staff here at the mill. Luke especially, a show favorite here on the block and Old School. So this is not a comment on the mill specifically, right? A great place to absolutely come to your business here. But a coffee shop, right, where everyone can come in, walk through, overhear bits and pieces of the conversation, right? I mean, you need conference rooms. You need meeting rooms for some of these conversations to happen. But I don't think the athlete should be away from those conversations. I think that the point of this is that the athlete is alongside the agent. Where, yes, if the agent can take a lot of the dirty work behind the scenes off the table, as long as they're filling the athlete in about what's actually happening, what's actually going on behind the scenes, great. The athlete needs to know. Where it gets a little worrisome to me is that these agents are often in more control of these student athletes' futures than I think a lot of us realize. And I think a lot of, student athletes dealing with an agent for the first time realize. And I would love to see the numbers, but my gut tells me we've had a lot more, people try to become agents in the NIL era, which is understandable. I mean, it looks like a great way to make a quick buck, right? Oh, I can just represent this person. I can get them an NIL deal and I can get paid for it too. Why wouldn't you try to become an agent? Why wouldn't you try to get in with these players that you think could become, superstars at the next level, or even, get a contract at the next level, because you're going to get some kickback from that. And the more people that are going to apply, to be an agent, the more likely you are to find some bad apples that aren't going to know the ins and outs of the business, that aren't going to create the best situations. I don't just say deals, right? Because it's not all about money. But if we're talking about agents being involved in getting players to the best fit for them, at the end of the day, agents need to act in the self-interest of not themselves, but their client. That's who they're there to represent. I'm sure the best agents are able to do that, and they happen to profit a little on their own on the side anyways. But a selfish agent is not an agent that you should want. And in a new booming industry like NIL, like representation of college athletes, I just worry there are so many conversations going on, behind the backs of and over the heads of these college athletes who may or may not know what's going on, what's actually happening. Not every college athlete is in the position of a Dylan Raiola, to have a father who played in the NFL for a decade plus, who has relationships with at least an agent, if not multiple agents, who knows the tone, the tenor, the rhythm of these types of conversations, not only what's being said, but what's being said between the lines, and almost more importantly, what's not being said. Who knows what questions to ask? There are certain advantages about that. So at the end of the day, I would hope that a system that comes to the NCAA is one where any contact with an agent counts as contact with the player themselves. And I wish and I hope that for every one of these conversations, the player would actually be in the room for it, to hear what's actually going on, to hear what's actually being said, to have the chance to learn and ask those questions for themselves as well. Do I think we're lucky enough to get such a system? No, I'm not so naive as to think that's going to be the case. I still think agents are going to be some pretty primary shapers and drivers of the college athletics landscape, whether I agree with it or not. But my hope is that all these agents are looking out for the young student athletes. I hope the student athletes have good mentorship and guidership, whether it's from the agent themselves or from someone in helping them select an agent who's going to, in some cases, make or break their future in the sport and sometimes even in life with what they're able to accomplish or not accomplish on their client's behalf. Appreciate the text there from, I believe that was 8893. Yep, 8893 on the text line. Appreciate your thoughts, your comments there. We'll take one final break, wrap up Old School, get you set up for WTF, Strick and Cluster right after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Now's the perfect time to get even stronger at Planet Fitness. Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month. Mix up your routine or create a customized workout plan with free fitness training. That's right. Certified trainers, unlimited sessions with best-in-class equipment. Plus, there's over 2,700 convenient locations to choose from, with most open 24 hours. Save $28 or more today when you join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends April 11th. See Home Club for details.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies, and it will be breezy. An afternoon high around 69. Tonight, mainly clear skies and continued breeze, a low around 37. And tomorrow, we'll see lots of sunshine with light winds and an afternoon high around 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Reflector for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
It's the middle child of driver safety. Ugh. It's like that scene in a movie you don't want to see, thinking, it won't happen to me. In the time of doing everything at once with 3 screens and taking meetings and eating in the car, it's not easy. But when driving takes the back seat, distracted driving causes more than 14% of fatal and injury crashes every year. For real. Let's start driving for real. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment here for the day on Old School. Going to be a fun Friday tomorrow, including, I believe, the official on-air return of the Corner 3 podcast. Lots to get to and wrapping up the season. Some fun episodes planned moving forward on that show. And then I plan to be on air talking some more about my beloved Kansas City Royals, the boys of summer. Repping them here today, as are we here on the station. We are Lincoln's home for the Kansas City Royals, in case you didn't know. We haven't carried every single game this year. We've missed a couple of them with the Lincoln Stars still in action. But we will have the Kansas City Royals on throughout the summer. Most days, 6 out of 7, maybe, every day of the week, depending on the schedule, what else we have going on, but especially throughout the summer, you can expect to hear Kansas City Royals baseball right here on these airwaves. Hope to get the voice of the Royals, Jake Eisenberg, on the horn sometime soon to chat Royals. They won today, 3-2 over the Minnesota Twins. That means the Royals now get their run differential back to smack dab even, but that's 3 out of 4 from the Twins for Kansas City. Big series for them as they entered just a couple games below 500. They go 3-1, get back over 500 at 7-6. Started now a 10-game road swing for the Royals. Trips to Cleveland, New York, and then Detroit. That's going to be a tough road swing before the Royals come home, where the schedule sort of lightens up with a series against the Colorado Rockies. Then they'll get Houston for a couple games before a couple games on the road at the Rays to start the end of the month of April, start the month of May. For the Royals to be 7-6 right now against the competition that they've played, really not a bad start to the year. Is it perfectly ideal? No, but no one's really running away with the American League Central right now. If you look at what the Royals have done so far, they lost the opening series of the year to Cleveland, won the middle game of the series, lost 2 out of 3 to Milwaukee after winning the first game of the series. Did end up taking 2 of 3 from Baltimore when the Royals got back to the K, and then 3 out of 4 from Minnesota just now. That's a pretty darn tough early season slate for Kansas City to have to manage. And then going on the road for these 10 games at Cleveland, at New York, and then at Detroit. 3 against the Guards, 3 against the Yanks, and then 4 against the Tigers before coming back home. For the Royals to be at 7-6 and even run differential right now, honestly, things are fine, right? No one's running away with the AL Central. Cleveland is sort of scuffling right now. Royals taking 3 out of 4 from Minnesota is big. Haven't seen Detroit yet. And the White Sox are going to be the White Sox. 2 of their players have gotten injured in different ways on the base paths in the last couple of days. So maybe they're not in for 121 losses again. But the White Sox will certainly not be a good baseball team, barring something dramatic happening. So on the one hand, you can be proud of the Royals for maintaining a 500 record around there, staying in the thick of the race early on here in the AL Central. At the same time, though, man, wouldn't it have been nice to get some cushion, to get some breathing room. At the very least, I'm going to take the tact of, you know what? The Royals hung in there. The offense certainly is not clicking yet. I mean, 45 runs across 13 games. That's not enough. 3.5 runs a game will not get it done. The pitching staff has been fine. Not elite, not the same level it was last year, certainly. I mean, Cole Reagans had his best start of the year. His last time out, 6 innings and 11 strikeouts for the left-handed ace. He's already put up half a win above replacement in just 3 starts for him. Seth Lugo, he probably could have predicted some regression coming for him. He hasn't been bad by any means. I mean, a 3.78 FIP, a 1.28 ERA plus, ERA of 3.24 in 16 2/3 innings. Seth Lugo's been good. He's been above average, but Seth Lugo's not finishing second in the American League Cy Young this year. If that's going to happen, it could be Cole Reagans, or maybe the breakout star of the year for the Royals through a couple trips through the rotation for him, Chris Bubic. Had the Tommy John surgery after 2 starts 2 seasons ago. Missed the rest of the season, missed most of the first part of last year, came back and was a pivotal left-handed piece in the bullpen. You saw the same control. I think it was like 31 strikeouts against 1 walk, 32-1, 31-2, somewhere in that neighborhood in the bullpen for Chris Bubic, who the Royals drafted as a starter and have developed that way. Well, Chris Bubic won a spot in the rotation to begin this year. And through his 2 starts, Royals have won them both. He's gone 12 and 2/3 innings, 7 hits, only 1 run allowed, 16 strikeouts against 3 walks in 49 batters faced. That's a 142 FIP, a .789 walks and hits per innings pitched. Has not allowed a home run yet, 11.4 strikeouts per 9. Really anything that's 9 or above is good. If you get a strikeout an inning, that's solid for a starter. So to have 11 strikeouts per 9 shows you that Chris Bubic does still have the wipeout strikeout stuff, even as a starter with more length, right? There's maybe some worry the velocity wouldn't maintain as well as it has so far. And we'll have to see. This will be the first heaviest workload that Chris Bubic has had in a while, that the Royals were able to up Seth Lugo's workload by like 65, 70 innings from his previous career high. He went over 200 innings in his first season as a starter last year for the Royals. So they know how to manage guys in those situations. Now, the difference is that Bubic is coming off that Tommy John surgery, whereas Seth Lugo just needed to be stretched out. That's a guy who was a career reliever before. But through, 2.5 trips through the rotation here, yeah, pretty darn good stuff for the Royals. Dad texts in, for the Royals to have a winning record while managing only 3 or 4 hits per game is amazing. The hitting will maybe hopefully come around, then the pitching can slow down, and the team could still be okay. Absolutely. The offense is a problem right now. Last year, the Royals finished, I think, in the top 5 in the American League, or at least top half of the league in runs scored in a lot of offensive categories. And we still had some concerns about that offense. It's still a bit of a down trend for offense league-wide. But again, I just have to go over these OPS plus numbers because they're kind of ridiculous. There are 2 guys in the Royals' everyday lineup that have an OPS plus of greater than 100, which is average. It's Bobby Witt Jr., who's putting up a 122, and Michael Garcia, of all guys, putting up a 152. Other than that, you have, where's he at? Jonathan India is putting up a 98, so pretty close to league average. Kyle Isbell, 92, not bad. Hunter Renfroe's a 23, unplayable. Michael Massey, a 64, has to get going. Kevin Biggio's been decent offensively, but below average, an 85 OPS plus. Salvador Perez, a 59, and Vinny Pasquantino, a 67 OPS plus. Those are 2 middle-of-the-order bats that absolutely have to get going, have to heat up with extra base hits, and have some actual production for the Royals offense to trick out and end up where it is it needs to be for the Royals to consider themselves a postseason contender again. Mark Canha has been hitting pretty well for the Royals. He's got a 184 OPS plus, a 357 batting average, 471 on base percentage. But he just went on the IL with some left hip soreness, or maybe he didn't go on the IL. But Drew Waters got called up, so I think it was Canha that ended up going down with that. Either way, 7-6, even run differential against a pretty tough part of the schedule in the early going. Not a bad spot at all to be for the Kansas City Royals, who, of course, you can hear on this very station all summer long, 93.7 The Ticket. For Jay, for Strick, I'm Austin. It's been a good few hours here. We'll come back with you tomorrow on the block from 3 to 5. Don't go anywhere. WTF and more on Ticket Weeknights right after this. Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time.
One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Clash together, so close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding
and tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer.